And we're back for episode 2 of Jumping the Gun. Clings, let's just clap it up for ourselves here. And for the listeners.
Yeah.
We just want to thank anybody who listened for episode 1. We thank you. It's been great. We've got a lot of feedback. It's helped. We appreciate any feedback that has been given. And we just want to say we have finally gotten live on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and YouTube Podcasts.
That deserves another clap.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Honestly, bro, I didn't know if I was going to be able to get it on. That was part of like I said last week, we kind of just jumped into it. Came at it raw. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get it on, but I figured it out. We got her live.
You know me, I can't get the tech stuff. so I got to give that all up to you.
So welcome back. We thank you if you came back, and we hope that you follow, subscribe, whatever you do. Follow us. Stay with us for this journey. And
enjoy the ride, definitely.
We want to start by saying that we're still working on name our segments, possibly adding more, so bear with us as we kind of figure it out on the run type thing. And it's a work in progress. We accept any advice. It all helps. Criticism, anything you got for us, we'll take it. And something that we didn't touch on last week that I wanted to add was the name, Jumping the Gun, how we landed there. It's not that deep. We just wanted something that popped. Something that kind of related to sports. If you know the saying, jumping the gun, if in a race, you fire off a gun, jump it, false start type thing. So we just wanted something that kind of related to sports. And with the podcast itself, we're going to be recording on Monday nights. We're watching Monday Night Football right now. We're in the first quarter, 12 minutes. And basically, jumping the gun, we're going to be talking about next week's games, and again, like I said, it's Monday night, so we're really jumping the gun on it and getting ahead of it. So we're coming to you for episode 2. Let's get this thing started. Clings, what do you got for us?
Let's go. I have I got the slate. The slate for this last week. It was a very interesting week. Week 1, as we all know.
Before you get into it.
Oh yeah.
To recap NFL or week 1, there was something I saw that's basically going to sum up week 1 for us.
Okay.
I saw a stat. It said NFL teams averaged just 174 net passing yards and 293 total yards per game on Sunday, and both are the lowest on any NFL Sunday in the regular season in 20 years. So it was...
Keep that in mind as we're going through this recap. Definitely keep that in mind, because I think a lot of our takes on these games are probably going to relate to that. In the same,
week
same
1
thing.
was rough.
I guarantee it.
Week 1 was rough.
I don't know if it was good defense or just poor offense. You never know. It could be the jitters. So just to start off, we had that Thursday night football game. I know my partner over here is not too happy about it, but like Lamar said, he stands on it. That was a touchdown.
It was
wore
close.
them white cleats or something.
It was close. I mean, final score: Chiefs 27, Ravens 20. We played like shit, and to be in it at the end to that last play, I was pleased with. I mean, like I said, we didn't play great, but to be in it to the last snap, you can't ask for much more. A couple of notes that I had: Lamar, he is definitely in his fuck it bag this year.
MVP form.
He just looked
off the rip. MVP form. No jumping the gun.
He looked more of a leader. He just was taking over. You could see that.
Absolutely. I think that maturity coming out. That's an experience.
And I think he had PTSD from that championship game last year against them.
Well, easy.
But yeah, no, he just took over. I think that's what he didn't do in the AFC Championship game. He didn't take over like he really wanted to. So he let that out on that Thursday night. Refs were fucking abysmal. If I hear illegal formation one more time, I'm gonna punch my TV.
I don't know. Was it a rule change? That's what I couldn't figure out. It has to be a new rule change, and like not everybody's up to par on it yet. And it's just that one. It's that what's the left side?
It's the tackles have to be lined up. I forget exactly how it was, but it was the tackles have to be lined up behind the guard.
So something changed.
It didn't change. Okay. They said they were going to enforce it more, which I think they just tried to make a fucking example out of the Ravens, which was bullshit.
Absolutely.
Because it wasn't called both ways.
They did it the Friday night game too.
And they didn't call it against the Chiefs.
They did 2 times. I looked at the stat. It was actually, I think, like 6 times versus you guys. Sorry. And 2 times versus the Chiefs. So definitely more sided. I had actually something on the refs too. I don't like the way that they just give Patty that that more. It's not that they give him more calls or anything like that. It's that they put more focus on him. Does that make sense? Like when he's on the field, he's getting more of the looks from maybe 2 or 3 of the refs than maybe just one of the guys. Like, for instance, Lamar. When Lamar went to go slide on one of those plays, someone came over and just laid on him. It was definitely late. And if it was Patty, which it was the very next drive, the flag was called.
Brees Hall just fumbled.
Brees Hall's fumble?
Early on.
Oh, man.
But yeah,
that's tough.
It was also, like we talked on Friday about it. I said that he's getting that Tom Brady treatment, and you said it might even be worse.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. It's a different treatment. It's almost like you have the refs not even – they don't care about anything but Patrick Mahomes on the field when he's on the field.
And 2 more notes that I had. The first one being the game kind of reminded me of that AFC Championship game in the sense that we kind of abandoned the run again. And I don't know why. Like, we have Derrick Henry, we have that new weapon. That first drive went so well, and then we just get away from it for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let him eat. We paid him for a reason.
Let him eat, absolutely.
And our offensive line looked rough. I did not like the way they looked, especially early on. You could tell once it got to the second quarter.
Right.
I think in the third quarter, Lamar's total yardage on passes was like less than a yard because they're just trying to get it out of his hand quick.
Right,
so that you could tell that he wasn't trusting his offensive line. So that's something to build on.
He almost had, 300 yards passing and 100 yards rushing?
It wasn't quite 300 passing.
That's what I'm saying, almost 300.
Yeah.
That's incredible, dude.
So, yeah.
That's definitely
offensive line is a lot to figure out. And my last note is that Patty, he's got weapons now. He's got some toys. And that's without Hollywood Brown. He was hurt.
That guy. Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
Hook him.
We thought last year that Patty didn't have weapons, and he went and won a Super Bowl, so now he has weapons, so it's more the same for them. They could be flirting with another Super Bowl. But
absolutely. Hopefully
somebody spoils that in Baltimore. And you have anything else on that game before we move on?
No. Not really. Actually, one last thing. That pass going to Zay Flowers, for all the Ravens fans that I've seen saying that Lamar, just questioning his passing, I'm just done with that. I will say he did miss. He passed enough, though.
He missed.
He's a quarterback.
So
you got to give him his.
The thing with Lamar's criticism is everybody always says he's not a great passer, this and that. He is a fantastic passer.
I didn't want to stoke this fire at all, but it needs to be said because I know a lot of guys gave him using that example against him because it was obvious. It looked so obvious, but after the post game, he definitely addressed it, and he said, no, that pass was a floater to Bateman. I thought Bateman was going to come curl in the middle of the end zone, but he flared back out, so I just lofted it. Luckily, Zay Flowers was running right there. He almost could have got it.
Would have been nuts.
It would have been nuts. It would have been so crazy if he would have got that because Lamar would have been just like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Nonetheless, it wasn't intended for Flowers, so don't use that against it. That's not an example.
Well, he definitely missed some throws there at the end, like the play right before that to Likely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough play. It was a scramble play, but still, you want to see him make that throw. But the thing with that, what you said about him and his passing, the criticism, I just don't understand it because the thing with Lamar is he has bad passes, and people only want to highlight the bad passes. Now, where if Aaron Rodgers has bad passes, Josh Allen, Patty Mahomes, if they have bad passes, you're not talking about them. You're talking about all the good ones. Mm-hmm. That is the difference to me, and that, as a Ravens fan, I've dealt with that ever since he's been our quarterback. And at this point, I don't entertain it.
Exactly. We just wanted to stop. Please stop.
That'll wrap up that game. We're going to try and keep these. We're not going to get as in depth as we did with the divisions, but we're going to make sure that we cover everything that we want to. So moving on to Friday's game, Eagles 34, Packers 29.
Let's go Birds.
At least half of the Bird gang starts off right.
Yeah.
Speaking of starting off, Hurts, he started a little slow.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Couple turnovers.
I think it was the jitters for all of them. The field was trash.
Oh, yeah.
The field was trash.
Let's start there.
Yeah,
let's start there.
Let's start with
that
the field.
Field was horrendous.
Go ahead.
My thing is, if you they knew this game was coming. If you know this game is coming and you know this many people are going to be watching it, wouldn't you make sure that the field is impeccable?
Right. Like, do your job. I mean, it's a soccer based country. I mean, that's obvious. And I get what the NFL is trying to do. I actually enjoy it. I seen a segment with Pat McAfee probably a couple weeks ago where they're in Ireland and they're promoting American football. It was awesome. It was amazing. And those guys are really taking it in. I think that's where the next game's going to be, by the way, jumping the gun on that.
Okay, I like that.
Yes.
I like that.
So back to it. Pat McAfee had this show where they're showing basically what the NFL is trying to do with expanding our American football that's obviously very popular to other countries, and you see it everywhere now. But anyways, back to the soccer country. My thing is, if you already know the whole season, like you just said, do the work. You it's not hard. If you need to, I don't know. I think they tried too much of making it.
Trying to make it too perfect.
Trying to make it too perfect. Yeah, that's all they had to do was just get a field.
And
go ahead, take over.
And
yeah,
I'm
just flabbergasted that they had that.
I also don't know if there were any soccer games that week. Like there could have been. They might not have had as much time. But like I said, if you know that this much revenue is coming in, like you have a big game scheduled, you should do your best to make sure that it's best playable.
You would think a lot of those coaches or even the medical personnel had a lot to say about that.
Yeah, for
sure. Because
sure.
I'm sure they were on just eggshells the whole time watching Jalen Hurts and Love just run around. I mean, Love got hurt at the very end of the game.
I was going to say that. So luckily, no one really got hurt from the grass itself. Like that really wasn't a factor. It was just a factor in the play. So luckily no one got hurt because of that. Unfortunately, Love got hurt at the end, but it wasn't due to the grass.
Right. It was definitely a lower hit.
They're saying it's only going to be 4 to 6 weeks. I think that's a little bold. My honest opinion, I think it's going to be more 4 to 8 just because.
Yeah, I'm thinking 7, 8.
Well,
yeah,
I say 4.
8.
I think they want him to be back in 4, but realistically with knees, you don't mess around with that. So they might push it back. Be safe.
They should definitely be safe with him. He's one of those quarterbacks they're not going to get him every draft.
Right.
Know? He's definitely
It leaves a big hole for them, that's for sure.
Yeah. And that's the only reason why they're even relevant now.
Yeah, go ahead.
The field was horrendous, but nonetheless, Saquon Barkley tore it up.
My man had some spark
with the hat trick. I don't know about you, but did he look faster?
Bro, he looks fast in that Eagles uniform.
He looks fast.
He also looks happy. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. The mood, the vibes. As soon as he scored that first touchdown, he looked like he was a rookie scoring his first touchdown.
Yeah, he was pumped.
He just had that motivation, that drive, go Birds, let's get it.
He looks excited to be there. And
oh, yeah, I'm excited, man.
My last point I had on this one was Jaden Reed. What a day he had.
Fantastic day.
Amazing for fantasy. My dad had him on his bench. I played against him.
I think I called out on our last our last episode that it was going to be Christian Watson. I'm going to say I was wrong, but I wasn't wrong when I said it's always one receiver that just cooks. Last year it was Watson. Before in the past years it's been Megatron. It doesn't matter. It's always one. Debo. It's always one receiver, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And just to wrap it up on that Eagles game, and we'll kick this off and get the rundown going. Keep it going at least. I'm going to say the play calling. Our play calling was just fantastic on offense. I know a lot of people have a certain opinion, mainly just Cowboys fans, about our new offensive coordinator, but my man, he was testing everything, and I loved it. He was showing all the weapons. He was using every single one, and we looked decent for week 1. It's gonna be good.
Looks bright. Take us to our next game.
We're gonna start off with that Pittsburgh and Atlanta. I know he's shaking that head, but Pittsburgh, I'm gonna say I think Fields over Russ straight up.
I think when Russ is healthy, they're going to throw him out there. I don't think.
I wouldn't, is what I'm saying.
True.
Absolutely.
True.
I wouldn't. That's all I'm saying. It is he looked back. You won a ball game. You know what I'm saying? You won the ball game. And then back over to Atlanta side.
So Steelers won 18-10.
18-10. If I'm Atlanta, Penix is playing next game.
They're not going to do that.
Why not?
Dude, they paid
I'm jumping the gun, but I would definitely the fact that Kurt's going to come out and do that, you got to just put a statement out there. Who they got next game?
You know what the NFL does. They paid him a shit ton of money. They're not gonna sit him. There's no way. They play you guys.
Well, that's what they were talking about today on ESPN. They were saying that they're going to have to make the decision, either lose ball games or take some criticism from the. What do you think?
I don't think
early. Too early.
Yeah, I don't think that because Kirk's in there, they're going to be losing games. I think they're just
Atlanta has us next. They're not winning.
I think they're figuring out their identity. I don't think they beat you guys either, but I don't think you right the ship on Kirk yet. You already paid him so much money to be there to lead that team, so you got to give him a chance.
Oh, Garrett Wilson just made a ridiculous catch.
He already made one on this drive too. It's two for this drive.
Oh boy! Hold on, I have to see this replay.
My thing with that Steelers Falcons game is Tomlin. That motherfucker, man, he makes you play his game. He is great at game planning.
He's a great. That's why they won.
Exactly. That's what I can say. Like, I can give Tomlin credit when it's due. He will make you play his game, and he did a good job at that because I think
absolutely
going into it, they might have hoped that Russ could get in there, but I think going into it, they knew that Fields was most likely going to be the starter, so they built that game plan around him. Mm-hmm. And they just beat the shit out of you on defense. TJ Watt, still a dog. Man. He's a dog.
Ended the game, zipped them up.
I hate him.
That was the last sack.
I hate him, but he is a dog. And, yeah, like you said, that Falcons offense, I just was very underwhelmed. I thought it was going to be a little better than that.
Yeah,
I didn't like what I saw there.
I didn't like it at all. But that's the only reason why I'm jumping the gun on Phoenix. I just didn't like it at all. Like, I should have seen at least one firework.
Well, and to counter that, like I said, it's week 1. I think they're still trying to figure out what this Kirk offense is going to look like. So
poor guy's got to come here next week.
I know it's not great for him. Anything else you want to say on that game?
Nope. Let's keep going.
Well, actually, I do want to say the Steelers. So now the Steelers are 1-0, and the rest of our division is 0-1. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what the Steelers are going to look like moving forward, but I know that defense is going to keep them in games.
Yeah.
And that's scary because
George Pickens looked nice too.
He's good.
He made some good catches.
He's a solid receiver for sure. But I just don't know how long that defense can keep them in it until they get fed up with doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
Being that one-sided team.
Yeah. No, I can see it, but good job, Pittsburgh. Got the win.
They got the win.
I know there's a lot of fans out there happy.
Yeah. Yeah, they like to see my downfall.
Let's go ahead and go to that Arizona and Buffalo game next. Buffalo got the win, 34-28. I'm going to go ahead and say it that I was cheering for Arizona the whole time. When they went up 17-3 on them, I thought, yes, the downfall of Josh Allen. Finally, he's going to get some criticism for being a scrambler quarterback. You know, he's not even that accurate. He just slings that thing.
Yeah, you don't hear that about him, though. It's all about his arm talent.
Yeah, exactly. It's arm talent and yada, yada, yada.
But from what I saw from Josh Allen, though, I also had the same note as Lamar. He's kind of in his fuck it bag, too, because he knows he doesn't have the same weapons that he's had before.
I did see a little bit more. He looked. I'm lying. I'm not going to gas it up. He looked like the same show. Well,
no, I was saying in the sense he's trying, like he's in that I'm going to take over this game if I have to. Okay. Like that run he had. He jumped from the 5-yard line.
And he put the ball out. Yeah, absolutely.
He literally jumped from the 5-yard line and dove in the end zone. He made it, though. I'll give him that. And that game, honestly, was way more electric than I thought it would be. Arizona starts that 17-3 lead and lost it. But the Bills bounced back and made it a game and obviously came back and won that thing. But it was a much better game than I thought it was going to be.
Sorry, might have had a touchdown there.
It was close.
Yeah, absolutely. Arizona, the coaching staff, they blew the win. I think it was third quarter, maybe fourth quarter. They had the opportunity to keep a drive going, and it was a 3rd and I think 4. Obvious, maybe short pass to the slant, out route or something like that. I think they ran a draw right up the middle with James Conner, and the previous play, he got stuffed. Mm-hmm. So they just
did the same thing.
And my dad, he's actually a Cardinals fan. I was watching the game with him, and the look on his face was priceless. I felt bad for him.
Yeah. It was a great game, honestly. Like I said,
Hall, touchdown.
it was way more exciting than I thought it was going to be. So it turned out to be a great game. And we'll take that to Bears-Titans. Bears 24, Titans 17. And Will Levis was very underwhelming. I thought they looked like shit. I thought they came out okay.
Yeah.
And then it just turned into...
So glad we forgot about their name last week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That was a bad look, by the way, for all those who are yelling Titans, Kyle.
Yep. Sorry.
But yeah, that was a bad look. Forgetting we did not, in fact, remember the Titans. But yeah,
good wordplay.
I just thought
I got that. I just got that.
You like
I
that?
Just got
You
that.
like
Yeah.
that?
Remember the Titans.
Like I said, I was underwhelmed by Will Levis. I thought he might have looked a little better.
Mhm.
They got out to an early lead, and then it just kind of fell apart on them. I think they tried to. They didn't. I think they just got too comfortable, thinking like, okay, we can kind of.
Yeah, that big run by Pollard.
Yeah.
Pretty much got their. They thut they had the win, and they kind of just slept on them.
And then the turnover on that kickoff. They
two back-to-back turnovers.
Yeah.
For Chicago's special teams and defense. So.
I think they just got a little ahead of themselves, and it caught up to them.
Yeah.
And another note I had was Caleb Williams. This isn't college, buddy. You can't just run around back there.
Cannot.
You saw that 20-yard sack he had?
I think he had it multiple times.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And the Bears offense, I know they had some drop passes. Keenan Allen dropped a touchdown, so that's obviously points left off the board. But they got to do better moving forward. They had 2 points of total offense, and it was a 2-point conversion.
I'll have to say that was a no-show. For what was expected, that was absolute no-show.
They won, but with 22 points from the defense and special teams.
Thankfully, defense, yeah. And the Titans fell asleep.
Yeah. Anything else you had on that game?
Nah, let's keep it rolling.
We have Pats Bengals. This one was a surpriser. Yeah. Pats 16, Bengals 10. I did not. Of course, I want to see the Bengals lose, but I did not have them losing in this game.
I did not either. No way.
I was very surprised.
I have the Pats at probably ranked 31 or 32.
I was going to say I had them as like a 5, 6, 7 max wins.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's more like in the 5.
4 or 5.
Yeah. So I was very surprised by this game, and the Bengals offensive line, similar to the Ravens, just looked rough. Didn't look sound. Joe Burrow getting hit.
He didn't perform.
He did not. Their run defense.
I think he needs more than Chase, though, if I'm being real.
Higgins was out.
Yeah. I think he'll perform whenever he's not easily readable. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. One way.
If he's predictable, he's easy to shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever he has all these, when he had Joe Mixon, Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Tyler Boyd, it was a problem.
It's exactly what we said last week. They lost too much, and it showed. I mean,
He's never not had nothing in his whole football career. LSU, he's had top receivers, running back, and then he gets to the NFL, he's got the same thing. I'm not a fan personally of Joe Burrow. I think he's just a product of him being there. I think he puts in the work, and I respect his game. But like I said, I don't think he's the leader. I don't think he can definitely get it done without
help.
Without the help of some other alphas.
That's
if
fair.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and their run defense was
definitely respect him now.
Yeah,
he's a gunslinger.
No doubt.
You got to respect him.
No doubt.
You got to respect him.
He can ball. But their run defense was just horrendous. Ramondre Stevenson, 120 yards rushing.
Yeah, that defense is.
Well, Brissett, 121 yards passing. They had one more yard passing than they did running, and that tells you something about that Bengals defense.
So is it? Would you say it's the Bengals line is the problem? Because I got some stats that they had 3 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. The one forced fumble was because the line got right through and strip sacked Joe Burrow.
Well, I was talking about run defense.
Well, I'm just saying, do you think the reason why the game went like that, or do you think the reason why the Bengals are having such a rough time after that Super Bowl run because of that line? Do you think it's because of the line, like overall? Not
talking about offensive line?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's definitely a little bit of both of them missing T. Higgins, having that extra wide receiver.
Maybe Joe Mixon
target.
too.
100% Joe Mixon, because that's a big back.
Lead touchdown scorer. How you just get rid of that?
Right. But I think mostly it is that offensive line. When you look at the league, good teams have good offensive lines.
Right.
you can't win games without a good running offensive line
Joe.
and protecting your quarterback.
Yeah, you got to protect Joe.
Offensive lines are honestly the most crucial part of an offense, in my opinion. Obviously, you need the playmakers, but if without an offensive line, those playmakers can't get it done. As
Shout
we
out
saw,
Jason Kelsey.
as we saw this past week.
Yes, sir.
And Gerard Mayo, my other note I had was he had that defense ready. He's a defensive-minded coach.
I had the same thing. I have Pat's defense pulled off win.
Yeah, yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so he had them boys ready to go. So that is promising for their future. But obviously, offense is a big question mark, so we'll see what that looks like going forward.
For sure. Yep.
And that'll take us to the Texans-Colts. Our game of the week was
the game of the week.
The game of the week.
Yes, sir. I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, we were spot on with that. So Texans 29, Colts 27, and Joe Mixon went crazy. That's exactly what I wrote down.
Absolutely.
30 carries, 159 yards. That's a lot of carries, bro.
Are missing him.
That's a lot of carries.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that'll be a long-term thing because that's a lot of touches for him.
Mm-hmm.
Especially he's getting a little older. You can't expect him to run the ball 30 times each game.
Right. I think it's because it was working, so they just kept feeding him.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were just running with that, and they needed it too with the way Anthony Richard was playing. I mean, that guy's got a cannon.
Yeah, I actually have that written down.
I know.
Richardson, he's got an absolute cannon.
I think it was like that 70-yard pass. I think that was the first glimpse I got to see of it. I was watching, and I think the you know how in red zone it pops up. It popped up, and they were like, "Watch this next play from Anthony Richardson."
Bomb! It was like 65 in the air.
Yucked it. Yeah.
And the only thing with that though is I have here that he was only 9 for 19 on passes. So not great to be only completing 9 passes out of 19.
He's only throwing 19 though.
Yeah.
9 of 19. That's
just under 50. It's just under 50%, but
do better. No, I get it.
Those deep balls, they look good. Balls look good.
The deep
balls.
Whoa.
But yeah, no, this game was exactly what we thought it was going to be, which is why we picked it for the game of the week because it was just all around good.
It was really good.
Came down to the end.
I got game of the week for the reason, and I also got that playoff preview. I think I said that this game was actually going to be 1 out of 3, and I'm going to stand on that. I think Indy somehow sneaks in with the wild card.
Mm-hmm.
Pending AR doesn't keep running this thing like he's Cam Newton.
Yeah.
But he played great. He showed why he's a dual threat, and when he's healthy, and it was a great game. It was a good game.
It's funny you say that because they probably told him this offseason, like, yo, you got to take less hits.
Chill out.
He just
wear and tear.
He didn't give a damn.
Nah, I'm winning this game. I want this ball game. Yeah, once that deep pass got completed, he knew I'm on.
Yeah, 100%. And the next game, absolute snooze fest. Saints 47, Panthers 10. We're not going to take long on this. I have that the Saints look good, but it's the Panthers. I
got that Derek Carr came out hot.
Yeah,
he came out
slung
hot.
that thing.
He has a lot of he's got a lot of skeptics on him. So
like I said,
he definitely had to. And the Panthers are that bad.
Yeah, like I said last week, I think I respect Carr's game. I think he's a good quarterback.
You did. And
that Panther,
he heard you. And he heard you because this guy was out there slinging.
He said, "Let
thing.
me show Marky Mark what I can do."
Yeah.
No, he said the Panthers though they look bad. I thought it couldn't get worse, but it almost kind of looked worse. But
C-Mac did them dirty. Just said peace.
Yeah, so I'm not going to dive too far into each of these teams. I need to see more from both
Good job, Saints. Absolutely.
Oh, I picked that right, by the way. Big play parlay. We'll come back to that later.
Absolutely. Good call. You're all over Derek Carr though. Let's go right to that Minnesota and Giants game.
Also another snooze fest.
Yeah, just another boring game. And I don't mean to say that for anybody who's a fan of either team. I just meant to say we're all football fans. We know when it's a good game. We know when it's not. Good job, Aaron Jones. He looks great in Minnesota.
He looked like he had a little spark. Yeah. And the Giants, opposite side of that, Daniel Jones, he just ain't it, bro. He just ain't it. I'm pretty sure I saw a stat that he has more pick sixes than touchdowns thrown to wide receivers. I haven't fact checked that, but I think I came across that on Twitter.
I believe it. Why'd they pay him? I don't know.
No one knows.
My I have two sons. My middle son, he used to be a Saquon Barkley heavy Giants guy. Just recently, he's moved over because of Saquon, and needless to say, I'm glad I don't have to watch any more Danny Jones games at all. Yeah, I just don't need to. I'm an Eagles fan. Giants suck.
Can do just fine without seeing it.
Just fine without it.
Yeah, I don't know much about this Vikings team yet. I don't think they really got tested. I mean, Sam Darnold, he went 19 of 24, pretty good day. But it's the Giants.
I just don't think he's it though.
Like I said, it's a good day, but it's the Giants. I don't know how trustworthy that's going to be going forward.
Normally their defense is what they're about, and that's surprising. I actually projected the Giants to win that, and I'm just being humble about it. I thought their defense was going to eat Sam Darnold alive.
Right.
And that did not happen. So.
And we'll go down south to Miami. Dolphins 20, Jaguars 17.
To Miami.
Hey, take me to Miami.
I can't say it.
Tyreek, still elite. He's fast as can be.
Yeah.
He actually got overthrown. It's hard to do. Tua overthrew him for one.
They look shaky, though, both teams.
It was, so I have here, I said that it wasn't as electric as I thought it was going to be.
Right.
Opposite of that Cardinals-Bills game. I didn't expect that to be that
electric.
Popping.
Yeah, and it was.
And this game was the opposite. I thought it was going to be great and just kind of was almost a dud. It wasn't. You want to see offenses going back and forth with teams like
Tua
this.
threw for like 300 yards though.
I know, it's just,
how do you throw for 300 yards and only get 20 points?
That's what I'm saying. Like it just they couldn't put it together.
You go up and down the field 3 times and only get 20 points.
It was more defensive than I thought. I mean, the defenses.
I think it was more that offense. Like you said, there was a lot of overthrows. I'm pretty sure Trevor Lawrence didn't go out off at all.
Right.
When I looked at the stats, he might have had maybe 150, maybe 170.
So that game was a little bit of a letdown. I was hoping for a little bit more there, and I think that wraps up the 1:00 games.
Yeah, let's go ahead and touch on that Cowboys and Browns.
To them
game.
boys.
Yeah. I don't really want to take this one. I'm going to let you because they won.
Cowboys 33, Browns 17. And CD and Dak, they still have that good connection. Mm-hmm. It kind of got lost halfway through the game because they just got up so big they didn't really need it.
Yeah, that's what they do.
But
when they start going up, they start to lose their minds.
Yeah. Well, early on, they had that. I mean, they were cooking. He didn't get in the end zone. I needed him for a slip. I needed CD to score.
That's because they paid him.
Well, they just got that lead and got comfortable. And the Browns, I said it last week, that Deshaun Watson experience, bro, I don't think it's it. I just don't know what it is about that team when he is the quarterback. It just looks like they're missing something. Like it's bad when your backup, Jameis, in the preseason has got that team all hyped up. Then you come out week 1 at home, Deshaun goes out there and they just...
Yeah, what is that all about? How do you have your backup being the leader on the team?
Yeah, I don't...
And you're setting in the back. Like, I used to be a big Deshaun guy, but obviously...
It's a tough look now.
It's a tough look now, and it's a tough supporting...
I actually saw that another accusation came out today about it.
Yeah, I'm off the Deshaun train. I just think, easy. Let's just go ahead and wrap that up. Cowboys win 33-17. F the Cowboys.
Yeah, Browns looked worse than I thought they would. Cowboys on par for what I expected.
I said let's wrap it up. Let's move to the next one. I'm done with the Cowboys. I'm done with their win. It's not going to last. Let's go Washington.
There's that bias.
Yes. Let's go to Washington and Tampa Bay. I'm going to show you a little bit more bias right here. Baker fucking Mayfield.
Bucks.
Oh, my God.
Bucks 37, Commanders 20, and...
I'm just going to give you the stat line. Baker Mayfield, 4 tutties, 300. What is that? Hold on. What was that? What's that? 4 tutties.
He can't read his own writing.
Yeah, I can't even read my own writing. That's chicken scratch. There it is. What was that? 430.
I'm going to fact check that for you.
Fact check that. Oh, there it is. There it is. I'm clicking. The eye started working. 24 out of 30 is what I meant. He only had 8 incompletions. 6 incompletions. I can't even do math.
Do you need me to check?
No. It's 24 out of 30. And then he had 4 tutties, 0 picks.
Yeah.
And my underlying score for that, the reason why he did all of that is because he has the weapons.
Yeah. And Jaden Daniels, I think he needs a new helmet. That thing,
Oh my God, I did see that.
That thing popped off like four times.
Did you see how it kind of... He didn't have the bottom straps on, so anytime he moved his head, that thing was rocking. Like, if you played football and when you have that too big of a helmet and you can just shake it and feel the whole thing just rattle, you should not be on the field. And the fact that he is playing quarterback doing all that,
yeah,
that's wild. He's gonna lose a couple teeth.
Facts. And like you said on Baker, he came out firing. I said he continues where he left off. That's what I've written down.
Yeah.
They ended well.
He has weapons
playoffs
now. Yeah.
I mean, they've had the same weapons as last year, but it's a solid. I mean, Mike Evans, he's Mr. Consistent. He's just always there. He's always available, and he's kind of underrated. He's not talked about that much, but he is. Like, I think it's consistent. 7 in a row, 1,000-yard seasons.
1,000-yard season. That's incredible.
Like, he is
a wide receiver. That's
Mr. Consistent.
Definition of consistency. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I think the future is bright with Jaden Daniels. He had some bright spots, but I don't know. That Commanders team's got a lot to figure out.
Yeah, he definitely made a lot of good plays. I think he's gonna take the same train of Jalen and Lamar. I think he's gonna start out with his running just to get his feet wet. He's gonna make he's gonna have his bad year this year. You know what I'm saying? But next year, I think look for Washington if they get a receiver or something like that to make it a little interesting in the NFC East.
Speaking of receivers, Terry McLaurin, he was absent for most of the game.
Yeah, maybe there's something going on with Daniels and
who
McLaurin.
knows?
Maybe they don't get along.
Something to keep an eye on.
Could be a college thing.
Next 4 o'clock game: Chargers 22, Raiders 10. J.K. Dobbins looked damn good. I miss him. 10 carries, 135 yards with a tutty. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have that breakaway speed, so he broke one and then got caught, I think twice actually.
Yeah.
So it was kind of funny, but he's just a solid back. I've always liked him. Like I said last week, I was high on him coming out of Ohio State. Mm-hmm. When the Ravens got him, couldn't stay healthy with us. I like to see him thriving with LA though. He just always seemed like a good dude, so I'm happy to see him doing well.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh got the win. Congratulations, coach.
First win. Welcome back to the NFL.
Welcome back.
Herbert, 144 yards passing. I know they had a lead most of the game, kinda.
I have Herbert needs help at wide receiver.
Yeah.
He just...
Well, so 144 yards passing, and I said, welcome to the Greg Roman experience. Mm-hmm. That's what we had in Baltimore. He just doesn't take shots. And you saw a little bit of that this past week. Or yesterday, I guess I should say.
Man, that's crazy that you say that, so I can see that now.
He doesn't take shots.
And that's bad for the Chargers because last year they were like fireworks. Fireworks.
So it's, and a lot of it
goes... That Twain came out on there. Fire that thing.
And it goes back to his offense, Greg Roman's offense, because like you said about the receivers, he doesn't have weapons. It's also, Roman doesn't scheme up good wide receiver routes. Like they end up in the same spots. They're over top of each other. Like
sounds like he's just not an offensive.
He's a run
game
coordinator.
Okay. He should just be a running back coach.
Exactly.
Stay in his lane.
And that's why I said last week he stayed around Baltimore too long, and I just think it hurt us more than it helped us. We would have been further on. And for the Raiders, Devontae Adams needs more targets. He only had 6 targets. He needs more. We're going to talk about it here next game, but you look at the Rams, and what did they do to Cooper Kupp? He's back. 20 targets. Devontae Adams, as good as he is, there's no reason he shouldn't get at least 10. He only had 6. You're getting a rookie, Brock Bowers. He had 8 targets. Just doesn't make much sense to me when you have that good of a wide receiver. I thought Gardner was going to sling that thing a little bit more, but I
called that.
It was a letdown.
Yeah. I definitely, I'm not going to say I knew, but Devontae there is just not it. That whole organization, it just, when they got rid of Josh Jacobs this past year, I thought that's sorry, the beer is kicking in. I thought that they definitely needed to build around Josh Jacobs. Just a great back.
Keep your weapons.
Yeah, just keep your weapons. That's a dumb move to trade him and then bring in Gardner Minshew. Keep no offense, old Devontae, older.
He's still good though. That's what I'm saying.
He is. So you go.
For him to only get 6 targets just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, at least try to force the ball to him.
Just
force it.
Why not?
Yeah.
You're already losing. Like, why, he's a dog. Give him a
Yeah.
give him a shot.
Throw it up. Huck it, chuck it.
And then the last 4 o'clock game, Seahawks 26, Broncos 20.
That was actually a good game to watch.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I wasn't able.
I got to watch that one.
I wasn't able to watch this one as much. I watched a lot of it, but not the whole thing. Bo Nix, he looked all right. That's all I have is all right.
Right. He played okay. So all right and okay. That's about it. But I'm me. I was high on Bo Nix coming in. I thought he did a great game management role, but. And that's actually how he was at Oregon. That's why they were so dominant. He makes the right call. He makes the right decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So less completions, less attempts, kind of thing.
That's probably why Sean Payton was so high on him.
And well, if you think about it, Bo Nix kind of resembles Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm.
He's a small, very very high IQ quarterback.
Okay. So.
That's exactly why they took him, and I got to see a little bit of that, and that's the only reason why I say he played okay. He played okay. On the other side of the ball, Kenneth Walker. If you had him on fantasy, congratulations on that pick.
I'm one.
Absolute dog.
I'm one. I have him. Yeah,
dog.
He's a beast. Got to feed him. That's what I have. Got to feed Kenneth Walker because that, like I said last week, that Geno Smith. I'm just not bought into that whole.
Seahawks
ordeal.
won 26-20. By the way, I don't know if we mentioned.
I did. I said
okay.
it. But the first win for Mike McDonald, ex-Ravens defensive coordinator, got his first win as a head coach, so congrats on that.
Yep.
And then our last game, the Sunday night game, which was a good one. Actually, probably the best game other than that Texans-Colts game. Yeah. This Rams-Lions game was a great one.
Yeah, it was an overtime thriller.
In Detroit, sure. Lions 26, Rams 20. First off, where was Amon-Ra St. Brown? 14 yards. To win with him doing that.
I was wondering that the whole night. Where is him? Where is Sam Laporta? Laporta kind of showed a little bit, but nowhere to be found. Mm-hmm. I don't know where Jared Goff was thrown to. I don't know what he was.
Like I said,
maybe play calling. Maybe it was just play calling or something.
Yeah, just a few minutes ago, I said Cooper Kupp. He's back, 21 targets. That's
21 targets, 14 catches, 110 yards, and a tutty.
Yeah, it's a solid line right there. Like we said, if you have playmakers like that, you try and feed them. Yeah. Why not? And last thing on that I had was Montgomery and Gibbs. They're a solid duo at quarterback or running back. That's when you have a committee like that, when you have a power and a speed guy. They have a perfect duo, I believe. There, it's really nice.
It is.
They complement each other well.
Too. That's a great one too.
So yeah, that wraps up week 1, and we're watching this Monday night game. We'll give you an update later on in the show when we're finishing up. See where that game's at when we finish up. And
currently the Jets are up 7-6 with 12 minutes before halftime.
Yeah.
We're still early. A lot of game left. A lot of ball.
Next is the NCAA. Let's take it to our student athletes. My Hurricanes dominated a team they should have, so it's not too shocking. They should have.
Whoa. Did you want to?
Oh, yeah, my bad. Backtrack.
Jump that gun.
I'm trying to jump the gun over
my man. Hey, we got to hit week 2. These guys ain't
yeah, that's
done.
right.
They're not done. They want to hear what we got to say about this upcoming week.
We still got more for the NFL?
We have more. And there's more. So we'll just go right into it. Week 2, that Thursday night game, we have the Bills at the Dolphins.
Yeah, let's keep this segment kind of short and sweet.
Yeah.
Thursday night football, Bills, Dolphins. I got the Bills winning that one.
I went Dolphins.
So I think,
Hands up.
Yeah, I think it'll be a great game.
I think this is going to be the fireworks game that we've been waiting on.
I hope.
We've been calling those
I hope.
game of the weeks. That actually might be my game of the week, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll tell you mine here in a little bit. But then we got, after that Thursday night game, Sunday 1 o'clock games, we got Saints at Cowboys. I got the Cowboys winning that one. I just think we see the Saints' true colors. They get a real test.
Cowboys.
He took the Cowboys, if you couldn't hear that.
I'm not saying it again. I'm not saying it again, is what I meant.
Next game, Bucks at Lions. I took the Lions. I think more of the same. I think the Lions kind of stay hot. Good test for the Bucks. We'll see what they got there.
You took the Lions? I went Bucks on that. I think Baker stays hot. I think the Lions got lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper Kupp, it was one dude that they had to worry about. Now they got to worry about that Bucks offense.
True.
Different.
True. And Colts at Packers. I took the Colts here. I don't know who's going to be starting for Green Bay. Malik Willis finished their game last week on Friday, but they might go sign like Ryan Tannehill or something, so we'll see who starts for them. I don't even know.
I went ahead and went Colts too. I think I just really liked what I seen out of AR.
Jets at Titans. I took the Jets. Titans kind of showed us who they were this week with a not as great Bears team, so you see what you got there.
Mm-hmm.
Who'd you take?
I went. Who you got?
Who you got?
I went Jets. I'm big on Aaron Rodgers and that Jets defense this year. I think Aaron Rodgers is he's one of the best. He's ready to give us a show.
49ers at Vikings. We're watching this 49ers team now. CMC is actually out. I'm sure a lot of you already know that. I think he'll probably be back next week. Don't know too much about it.
Said,
I don't know too much about it.
They said maybe 2 to 3.
Okay. I'm still going to take the 49ers, though.
Yeah.
The Vikings just played the Giants. Not a real test. Seahawks at Patriots.
I went Niners, by the way, as well.
Who'd you take for the Seahawks-Patriots?
I went Hawks on this one.
So did I.
I kind of wanted to go Patriots just because of the defense, but I don't believe they win that many games. This is going to be one of the ones that they let slip away.
True. Same. I went Seahawks. And then next we got Giants at Commanders. I took the Commanders. Giants stinkers.
I was going to say this is the battle of the ugly stepbrothers. So I'm going to go Commanders. Just Jaden Daniels is better.
Yeah. And next game, Chargers at Panthers. Chargers, don't need to say much more there.
Yeah, I went Chargers as well. Following suit, Panthers are probably the worst team in the league to me.
Mm-hmm. Browns at Jaguars. I went with the Jags. I think they got a good test. They had a rough matchup week one. It's tough to go into Miami with that heat, especially in August. I mean, they're from Jacksonville, so it's not much different for them. But they already got their test. They put up a big fight. I think they fight back this week and take the win over the Browns.
Yep. I went Jags. Same reason. I'm just not big on and I'm not big on Deshaun. You can't get behind that guy.
And then last but not least, the Raiders at the Ravens. Your boy will be in attendance.
I went ahead and went Ravens, of course.
I would hope. If we lose to the Raiders, I'll sell my season tickets.
You heard it here. You heard it here.
I don't mean that. We're still not going to lose that game. There's no way.
No chance.
No chance.
No chance. There it is.
Rams at Cardinals kick off the 4 o'clock games. I took the Cardinals. I think they
high five.
I think they fumbled the bag on that first game. They had it in their hands and let it slip through. I think they bounced back at home and put up a win.
Oh my gosh, you're in my head. Absolutely.
You like that?
I concur.
Steelers at Broncos. As much as I want to pick the Broncos, I actually took the Steelers here. I just think.
Sorry, big play to who is this?
Jawan Jennings.
We have San Fran in the red zone.
And I took the Steelers. As much as it pains me, I just think that, like I said about Tomlin, he's going to game plan well. And it's a rookie quarterback. They don't do well against Tomlin.
I'm going to have to disagree on this one. I think this is the opening show for Bo Nix at home.
I love it. Fuck the Steelers.
Yep.
But I still picked them, which hurts, but I did.
I hear you. Bo Nix, let's get it.
Bengals at Chiefs. I'm going to take the Chiefs just because past week, Bengals, I didn't like what I saw.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get me wrong. I liked what I saw. but
Touchdown.
But as far as picking, I did not like it. Jordan Mason.
Is that Jordan Mason? Oh, we got a flag.
Is that Jordan Mason? I think so.
I believe yes. That's who it is subbing in for C-Mac tonight. Let's see. I think Debo. Yes, Debo, crybaby.
I'm gonna sound like a casual here. I didn't know he changed his number to number 1.
Yeah. Yep. I did.
I was not hip. Next game, Bears at Texans on Sunday Night Football. I took the Texans. You took the Texans. There's no way you took the Bears.
I was kind of just leaving you up in the air. I'm going to go Texans. CJ Stroud, just that Texans. I was gonna say with the Chiefs, I picked Chiefs as well. Both teams, Chiefs and Texans. If you're gonna go up against these teams, you need to come
guns a-blazing.
Corrected.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just gonna lead that right into that Monday Night Football game. You better come corrected if you're coming into Philly.
Little matchup of the birds.
Yeah,
Falcons
we're
at
gonna
Eagles.
go ahead and go Philly.
Yeah, Philly.
Here. We're gonna go ahead and take them.
All right, so with that, let's do our primetime picks for this week.
Okay.
We already said them, but we'll recap them. I took the Bills. You took the Dolphins. So we have a...
Yeah, I got the Dolphins at 2.5 if you're looking at any bets.
And our showdown for this week actually finishes tonight. I have the Niners, you have the Jets. So
I'm
somebody...
up by 1.
No, you're not? Oh, up by a point. I thought you meant in the standings.
Hey, I'm right now.
I thought you meant in the standings. It's what are we? We're both 2-1. We both had the Ravens and they lost. So this will separate somebody tonight. Someone's going to be 2-2.
Smarter.
I'll be 3-1.
Anyways, let's go to Sunday night. Texans. We both got the Texans. For the bets, like I said, I got 6.5. I got the Texans 6.5 on that by Tutty.
And then we took the Eagles. So I have Bills, Texans, Eagles. You have Dolphins, Texans, Eagles. So once again, somebody's going to separate. Keep
it separated.
And that'll wrap up NFL. So let me get back to where I left off.
Yeah, let's get back.
NCAA. Yeah. Miami, like I said, they dominated as they should. Put up that U. It's all about the U. But it's a team they should beat like that. And I have here that Cam Ward, he will be in Heisman conversation.
Yeah, I agree. He's a dog.
It's actually kind of an easy schedule. I was looking ahead a little bit. Our next matchup against Ball State, so they should do more of the same they did this week, dominated a team they should. And he's just going to continue to put up that Heisman candidate.
They won over Florida A&M 56-9, by the way, so that's pure domination.
Yeah, it was never close. I watched the first half, and I was like, I don't think I need to watch anymore. Plus, I had other things I got to do. I was home alone with the baby.
Bad life.
Yeah, I was home alone with the babe. And last thing on Miami is like I said, their schedule isn't too grueling. Their biggest test is going to be Louisville. It's a little later in the season. I think it's a few more weeks away.
Mm-hmm.
But Miami should be in that playoff convo when it comes down to it. I don't see them losing more than 1 to 2 games, so they'll be right there up in that conversation.
Deebo Samuel's touchdown for my fantasy purposes. Let's go.
Deebo.
Niners are about to go up 13-7 pending the extra point.
What else did you want to talk about with
Miami, like I said, just dominant win. I think you hit spot on with Mr. Ward. I think he's going to be in the top.
He's going to be in that conversation.
For the conversation, absolutely. Go ahead and go with the biggest elephant in the room.
Notre
Dame upset. Northern Illinois, congrats.
Yeah.
I think their defense definitely is the reason why that happened. They had 2 interceptions. They held Ray Leonard to 163 passing yards. They held Love, the running back, who's a star player, to only 79 rushing yards. I think he averages 100 easily. Just straight defensively owned up, manned up, grabbed a pair and went out there and just punched them in the mouth. Notre Dame just showed why they're Notre Dame, why they play in the American Conference.
It's crazy because after that first week, they came out so high. I mean, that coach had him fired up. They were behind him.
Yep.
And then to come out and lay that against Northern Illinois, that's a tough look.
Yeah.
That's a tough look.
Yeah. I was happy to see it, though. Happy to see it. Get that guy out. Get them out of there.
Penn State barely escapes Bowling Green.
Yep.
That was tough to watch.
Was that a 34-27 victory for Penn State? Yeah, that was tough. They actually barely got that 24, I think, in the fourth quarter with like 8 minutes left.
Another close one was Oregon. I don't know. They almost lost, too.
They did.
To Boise State.
Them in their fancy jerseys over there. To be honest, they had to go against Ashton Genty. I don't know if you know who that is.
You were talking about him.
He's one of the best top running backs right now in college. He had 25 touches for 192 and 3 tutties.
Yeah, he's gonna be a high prospect coming out of the draft.
Keep that in mind, Ashton Genty. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
And Texas, Michigan. Michigan looked lost.
Hook 'em, baby.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Go ahead and go off.
That was huge. Oh my God. So we just purely dominated it. just both sides of the ball. Offensively, I knew what we had. Defensively, I didn't know. I was kind of surprised. I only hold them to 12 points because they were one of the best offensive scoring last year when they won. Obviously, they lost some pieces, but still, 12 points
to do that to them though.
Yeah, 12 points is great. We're on to the next one. We got Georgia coming up soon.
A couple weeks.
In a couple weeks.
It's gonna be a good one.
Basically, Texas is a contender.
You'll probably see a little Arch Manning. You guys got UTSA this coming up.
Arch is definitely going to come in probably second half. I look for him to be in the second half for sure. Welcome, baby.
Tennessee, they might crack the top 12 here soon. Nico is elite.
They had a shaky start in the beginning.
Let me try and pronounce his name. Nico Lamaleava.
Now let me try. Nico Lamaleava. Was that good?
I don't think so. But he's also one of my Heisman talk. I think
absolutely.
The way he's performing,
the same thing.
The way he's performing, he's going to be up there. And I don't think I have any more notes on any other games.
I think they're a playoff lock. No, I'll take over. I got a few more. I watched a lot of college football. Like I said, is one of my favorite things to watch, just because it's so exciting. College in general, college sports are great. Shout out to the student athletes.
Yeah. So you said Tennessee will be in that playoff picture. They're actually outside of the top 12 at this moment.
Okay.
I don't know if it changed yet. Did they?
Yeah, they changed it. They're currently at number 7.
Okay, so they were 14.
Yeah, we'll go over the top 12.
They were 14 before this past week, so now they jumped up to 7. You said?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so they'll be in that conversation.
I think they're definitely a playoff lock. That's what I have written down. Playoff lock.
I like that.
Jump the gun on that. Tennessee is a playoff lock.
I like that.
We're gonna go to another game that I got to watch. Arizona. I think Fafita. He's another possible high. He's gonna definitely be a first round draft pick. Out of Arizona, the quarterback. He looked bad, and they won 22-10. But just keep him in mind. And then moving down to Ohio State, they clobbered Western Michigan 56-0. They look good. I can't even say his last name. Judikins, the running back for Ohio State, 9 carries.
I think that's
100.
it.
Yeah,
I think
108 yards, 2 tutties. Howard, he's a gunslinger. Ohio State, you guys look good. I hate to say it. Bama dominated. They got their Heisman candidate in Jalen Milroe still. They dominated 42-16, South Florida. Ole Miss dominated as well against Middle Tennessee, 52-53. I think Ole Miss is definitely a playoff team as well. That offense is very good. And I ain't going to lie, I like their jerseys. That's why I always low-key mess with Ole Miss. I like their jerseys, the blue jerseys with the red. Utah had a battle with Baylor. That was actually that was a really good game, actually.
I did see that one.
23-12 win for Utah. I think Utah is a playoff team, but I don't think they have the offense to go deep into that playoff. So I look for hopefully Texas to get Utah first. And last but not least, UGA, Georgia, go Dogs. They blow out Tennessee Tech 48-3. And they're easily a top 3 team. Georgia, they'll probably finish 2. I look for the Longhorns to beat them, knock them down maybe to 3, and then they'll finish at 2.
I was going to say, whoever wins that game is probably going to be number 1.
Absolutely.
For a long time.
Hook them.
Yeah.
What do you mean, who?
So take us to our top 12. Current top 12.
All right, so, going into week 13 for college football for the top 12.
Week 3.
Yeah, week 3.
You said 13.
Did I say 13?
I heard 13. We'll play it back. I heard 3.
I'm going to go with 13. So we'll go 1 is Georgia. Texas is number 2. Ohio State is number 3. Bama at 4. Oh.
4?
Ooh. We're going to go with Ole Miss at 5. Missouri at 6, Tennessee at 7, Penn State at 8, Oregon at 9, Miami, the U, at 10.
Yes, sir.
Number 11 is USC. Number 12 is Utah. So what happened from last week is Texas jumped up from 4 to 2. OSU moved to 3. Oregon drops from 3 to 9. Bama moves up to 4. Notre Dame They're out.
Yep.
Miami's in at 10. Michigan is out. USC is in at 11. And Utah slides down to 12, rightfully so, pinning my last take that I just said. And Tennessee moves from 12 to 7. So your take on Tennessee and their quarterback.
I thought they were at 14. I must have
They
read
were
it
at
wrong.
14, but we kind of had them at 12 because we already knew FSU lost.
Oh,
so we
right.
already knew that they were going to
jump the gun on it.
Yeah, and we were right.
So
one shot, one kill. Let's go.
You actually brought up something that I had interest in.
That's what we do. We volley.
You said Oregon went from 3 to 9, right?
Yeah.
So
that's a huge drop.
Yeah. So my note that I had here about this new playoff, it's going to be interesting to see how the playoff committee views close wins like they just had against less superior schools. So you get that Oregon team that just lost or barely won to Boise State.
So if you think about it, those bottom 9, 10, 11, 12, you're not safe.
Right. Like if for example, another
for the
example,
last 2 weeks,
Penn State barely beats Bowling Green. Like those kind of wins are, now that we have an expanded playoff, you're going to get teams with 2 or 3 losses probably in the playoff.
Absolutely.
And if you're one of those teams that has almost a bad win, if I will, you're going to be. I think it might hurt you.
Shit out of luck.
Yeah. So
they're going to definitely look at that.
I think down the stretch, it's going to be very interesting to see how they do that.
I can't wait to see it. It's definitely like I said, those last 4 teams. Your playoff starts those last couple games,
right?
Because you have to win those to stay.
You were spot on with that. I like that.
Yeah.
So it's something to look forward to because it's gonna be a lot of fun. Buckle up.
Hopefully, some new teams get in there.
Oh, 100%. There's going to be
Texas is winning it this year, but after that, y'all can have it for a little bit.
Anything else you want to say about our student athletes?
No, we just have a couple key matchup games just to watch for.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
this Saturday's pretty dry on the matchups. So if you get on the bets, definitely smash those money lines and those spreads. They'll probably hit. I'm not going to guarantee it, but the 3 key matchups. The first one we got is number 20 Arizona. I already hit on them. It's Fafita. He's a great quarterback, but they go against number 14 Kansas State.
Yeah, so I have here, I think the winner will get considered for that.
I think it's going to be Arizona. I'm going to jump it and go ahead and say Arizona wins that game.
Whoever wins that game, I could see him being considered moving into that top 12. Formidable opponent.
I could see Arizona jumping up to 12, especially if somebody loses. But we just said no one has a tough game, that probably won't happen this week.
Yeah, but it looks good on the resume, whoever wins.
Sure.
And the other 2 games, the one I highlighted was Boston College at Missouri.
Yeah, Boston College is undefeated, so that's a test for Missouri.
They're a scrappy little team. Missouri gets their test, but I still think Missouri comes out on that.
Absolutely.
But it's just a test, something to keep an eye on. Like you said, not too many.
Undefeated. I mean, you got to respect the record.
And there's not too many great games, so that's just one to keep an eye on. And then Oregon versus Oregon State, little in-state rivalry.
Yeah, a little rivalry.
Could be an upset alert. I mean, Oregon just barely got by Boise State.
I think Oregon State upset them at least twice in the last 5 years with running backs because they've had good running backs.
I believe it's in Oregon State too. So
yeah, go Beavers.
It'll be something to watch, something to keep an eye on. Anything else about NCAA before we move on?
No, I think that pretty much
keep trying to jump the gun.
No. I think that wraps up NCAA. We did a good take on that.
All right, let's talk some bats. How about them O's? Not much to say. We're actually in the same exact spot.
That was weak.
Dude,
That was so weak. Do that again. Now do that again.
No, listen.
How about them? Oh.
No. I said it that way because we're the exact same spot we were a week ago when we recorded.
Okay.
We are a half game back from the Yankees. Same spot we were a week ago. We actually took the lead.
We are too.
We took the lead from them for a day and then gave it right back. So
we went on a drought.
It's actually the exact same thing that we talked about last week. We're sitting a half game behind the Yanks, and then a half game behind us is Cleveland. So they're still lurking.
Yeah, Cleveland, you got to watch out for.
I told you they're scrappy.
They're scrappy.
You got to look out for them. That O's team, I didn't get to watch too much this past week because of football. I was just
I have 0 talking bat points besides D-backs 1-1 out of the series with the Astros. That's about it for talking bats.
So I got a little bit here, but this past week, like I said, I didn't watch too much, but we lost 8-1 to the historically bad White Sox.
Yes,
and that's bad. You can't lose those games when you're in a half game race for this lead. You can't. That's a half game right there. That's that game.
So I've been seeing a lot of O's fans. Clearly, we live in Maryland, so we are around this fandom, this fan base. I've seen so many fans question the O's management. Would you say that has a lot to do with the wins, or is it the players' performance?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
With Hyde, I think what more you're talking about is the pitching changes.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes he just doesn't make the right decision when it comes to pitching, and like we said last week, pitching wins and loses games.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to have that sometimes
that and scoring runs, you gotta be able to score runs. That's what we said.
But it's that uncertainty when Hyde makes those calls and they're not the right calls. It hurts.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have that.
Yeah,
especially
you can't get that back. You're not going to get that time
exactly.
back. You're not going to get that call
and this
back.
late in the season, it's crucial. Like I said, we're a half game. We went up a half
We're
game.
Almost in October
and gave it right back.
We're almost in October.
Exactly. It's
right around the corner.
Speaking of which, the defending champs, the Rangers, they're not even in the playoff picture.
No,
they're
that
sitting
was a
outside
fluke
of it.
win. Fluke win. D-backs should have had that, and we were the hotter team, the better team, and we just.
So they're 6.5 games
win.
out of the wild card. I don't see them. That's a lot. There's no way they can get there.
I
just don't see them getting there. So they're not. The defending champs are not going to make it. So it's up for grabs.
That's awesome.
And the O's. So back to that division race. We play the Yanks in a few weeks.
Okay.
That's gonna. I think that's gonna.
Huge.
That's gonna
Where's
decide.
it at? Is it in Baltimore or New York?
I believe I got to double check that.
Okay.
I believe it's in New York.
I could see. Man, that's if it's in New York.
I'm checking right now. It's in New York.
See, I was gonna say if it's in New York, I could. This is gonna be the test. This is definitely gonna be the test for the O's. If you guys can somehow win in that series,
we just need to win the series, and
that's
and
what
that
I'm saying.
whoever wins that
series
wins the division. Essentially, is how I see it.
Okay.
This late in the
That's
season,
tough.
there's only about
That's tough.
There's only about 4 or 5
So
more
O's
series
fans,
left.
be ready for this upcoming series.
Buckle up.
Buckle up, guys.
Another high spot from this MLB past week, Pavin Smith, last night from the Diamondbacks.
I think it's Pavin.
Is it?
I
thought it was Pavin.
I've heard it on my D-backs stuff a lot.
Okay.
The broadcasters say Pavin.
I honestly should know because I played against him at Towson.
You didn't talk to him.
I mean,
like he talked to him.
I talked to him when I was on
the
first.
announcers announce it?
I don't remember.
Pavin.
I don't remember, honestly. But he had 3 home runs last night, including a grand slam.
He's a dog.
He hit one of the furthest home runs I've ever seen in my life.
He's very inconsistent, though. But when he shines and he hits, He's on.
When he was in college, so he played at UVA. I played at Towson. We played them every year. And
that's pretty sick.
He hit the furthest home run I've ever seen in my life. It was a fall ball game, so it didn't count. But it
like
counted.
A shotgun coming off that
Dude, that thing was cranked.
That's pretty sick. I don't think I know anybody on the professional level in any kind of sport, so that's pretty. I
got a few out there.
That's pretty cool.
Played with some MLB players out there. We'll in the future we'll probably touch more on that, but
yeah, for sure.
Mets. Another thing I had were the Mets are actually in the playoff picture. They're tied with Atlanta for the last wild card spot in the NL. You guys have, I think it's either 2.5 game or 3.5 game.
I just looked. It was 2.
Yeah, so
2.5.
So you guys are in a comfortable spot. You guys just need to stay where you're at, essentially.
Stay hitting.
Yeah,
stay hitting.
But Mets in Atlanta, they got to duke it out for that last wild card spot. So that'll be.
I got Atlanta coming up. I got the Mets falling off.
Mm-hmm.
I got Atlanta finding that because they got the players, they got the coaching, they got the experience.
Yeah.
I got them finally pulling out a late little stretch run and sneaking in.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, so that's about all I had for the baseball talk. We'll dive more into baseball as it starts getting closer to that playoff race.
October. That's when I'll definitely be start watching and getting more.
Football started. We just got a little excited.
Absolutely, we're jumping the gun. That's what we do.
So yeah, I don't have anything else on baseball. Where do you want to go to next? We're about finishing up this show here, so bear with us as we wrap it up.
To be honest, let's dive into some more of our everyday lives. So you had an interesting weekend.
Yes, I did.
You had 2 things going on, right? You had trying to get your baby girl down in the crib and get that whole situated by yourself.
Well, she's already in her crib. So for those parents out there that can relate, that transition to the crib can be tough.
Yeah.
We recently, this past month, got her in her own room, in her own crib, doing her own thing. So that's been a nice transition because Mama and I get our nights back.
Right.
We get her down.
That sleep is crucial.
Yeah. And just to hang out with each other again, it's very nice.
Absolutely. The more you get, as I can tell you, those times, they're far and few.
Yeah.
So you have to take advantage.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get everything right.
And what you were about to say, the other thing, I was home alone this weekend with baby girl.
Okay. Yeah. That's right.
It was just me and her, and I got a taste of what a single parent life would be like for all those who are single parents out there. Props to you, because
it's tough.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
And the more kids you have, the job just increases by about 100.
Yeah,
every time.
Yeah, so it was honestly a lot of fun because I got a lot of alone time with her, got a lot of time to spend with her, and
that's a blessing when you get that one-on-one time.
Yeah,
and you start cherishing those actual moments.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun.
For sure.
Met up with Josh and his little guy, so we had a couple play dates. So
there we go.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
And we just the biggest concern I had going into it was so talking about that, getting her into the crib this past month. Like I said, we've transitioned into getting her there. She's really had no problems with it. She's done great for us.
Mm-hmm.
But I was worried about this weekend because every night, at least before this weekend, to get her to go to sleep, Mama would rock her in the rocker.
She had
breastfeeding.
She had a rhythm. She had a schedule.
Yeah, so she would rock her to sleep while breastfeeding,
mm-hmm.
and then get her into the crib when she's asleep.
Right.
Which is no problem at all, obviously. But I had a fear that she's not going to go to sleep for me because she's not going to want to. I can't breastfeed, obviously. My tits don't work like that.
Whoa.
So I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. If I can get her into her crib and get her to sleep, then it'll be no problem. But I had that fear of I'm not going to be able to get her down.
That anxiety was
and
I've had that first night.
I made sure she was nice and fed, and once she was tired, got her down in the crib. She cried a little bit. 5 minutes went by.
Uh-huh.
Baby girl was out.
I think that routine is huge with small children, especially when you're going from the very early stages of them, especially if they breastfeed. That's a huge thing. If they go from that very attachment stage of being with mom,
mm-hmm.
and then that little bit of a phase where dad starts being introduced more, that's where it's tough for us dads because we go off mom's routine and we're not moms.
Right.
So we have to find our own routine. And let's just be real. That's a book that nobody just wrote. Everybody has to figure it out on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's how I kind of dove into this weekend, was trial by fire. And it worked out great. She was fantastic for me. Maybe in 15 years, 20 years, if you hear this, I love you. Thank you for your help.
There you go.
But no, she was
Uncle
great
Mike
for me.
Loves you too.
She was great. I got her in her crib, fell asleep, slept through the night, and can't complain with how everything turned out.
We might have a breaking. Okay, he did not hold on to that breaking.
No, he did not catch it.
Brandon Ayuk did not catch it in the corner of the end zone. I'm sure if you're watching, you know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, we're closing in on the halftime here.
That was great.
What else did we want to talk about? I don't know if there's much more. We're kind of.
No. I think. Definitely. Back to your daughter and the sleeping in the crib. So did that work? Would you say that's been working with the whole temperature thing? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
When I said about every baby has their own, like, if they like to be loose or coddled or cold or warm, like every baby has their own.
Yeah. No, we've got her down to. She has, like I said before, it was mama rocking her to sleep and get her into that crib. We don't use a sleep sack or anything. She just didn't like it. She likes to move around, so we got her where she's comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But this past weekend we took, I think, bigger steps because I was able to get her down without mama. So that was
right.
That was a bright spot for us.
Yeah, that's huge. That's a huge win for you.
Because like I said, I was worried about it just not having her around because she was just that.
It's scary, man.
She was that comfort for her, and I was like, I don't want her to be pissed at me because I can't comfort her like I do. I can't breastfeed her, so it's
you're like, man, she's so far away. She's wherever, and
it's just me.
What happens if it's 8:00 at night and she just won't?
Yeah. So it worked out great.
But I'm sure it went perfectly because that's how it always happened for me. I'd stress about so many things and have so much anxiety, but in reality, you're not going to mess this up if you care and you're a reasonable
take care of your
adult.
business.
Just be an adult. Be a dad. Be a mom. Be whatever.
Yeah. No, it worked out great. Can't complain about how it turned out.
That's awesome.
It was a good weekend.
Yeah. Good. Glad to hear.
Then we got to watch some football together.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go Hurricanes.
Let's go.
Got to bring in the Canes.
Anything else we want to touch on?
I think that was a good little advice we got for those dads out there. I definitely wanted to bring more of that into this podcast. Not too much, not to overdo it, but keep it soft, a little bit soft around the edges for our listeners.
Yeah, so like we said at the beginning, it's kind of still a work in progress, so bear with us. If you made it this far, thank you for listening.
Absolutely.
Again,
thank you.
Follow, subscribe, whatever you need to do
get the shares out. If you
share
can.
it.
Share this thing.
If you like it, come back for episode 3. I don't think we have much more to talk about. Like I said,
one more big play parlay.
Oh shit! I'm about to. Dude,
come on. We have one more thing to give these guys. We got to win them some money. We were terrible last week.
Yeah, so
this week we got you.
Our big play parlay, if you made it to the end of the episode last week, bust. Derrick Henry ended with 46 yards, so came up 4 yards short.
4 yards short. It's not really a bust.
But it busted our parlay.
Right, yeah.
And then
Tua did not get to did not get two tutties.
Yeah, and he came up short. He had a shot at it, but didn't get it.
Yeah.
We missed last week, but we're gonna change it this week because we realized looking at it today, trying to pick our big play parlay, that lines aren't available yet. So it's gonna be tough for us to say like, hey, I want to take Lamar 40 rushing yards, but it might be minus 1,000.
Right.
So
we don't have no idea what the odds are going to be. So it's a lot easier. What we're going to do is just pick 2 touchdown scorers each for that week that's coming up.
So it's going to be more of a risk because touchdown scorers obviously are closer to plus 100, sometimes even more. So what we'll do is we'll pick 4, 2 each, like he said. We're going to give a 1A and then a 1B. We're going to play all 4.
But if you guys want to go like A, and 1B,
right,
that's probably a safer bet.
Yep. So we're taking a risk here. We're going to see how it works out. But again, like the whole show, we're just kind of letting it fly and going with it.
Letting it rip.
So big play parlay for this week. I think you have it written down over there.
Yeah.
I took Breece Hall for a touchdown against the Titans.
And that's his A pick.
Oh, yeah, that's
Breece
A.
Hall.
My bad. 1A.
That's his number 1 lock. His B is Brian Robinson Jr. for the Giants. The wide receiver.
Giants.
No. Yeah. I chopped that all up. Go ahead, you read it.
Okay. Brian Robinson Jr. for a touchdown against the Giants. Running back for the Commanders.
There we go.
So those are my 2, 1A, 1B.
My 1A is Saquon Barkley for a tutty. I think that's a very good pick. Just we're playing against Atlanta. He had 3 last week.
Ride the hot hand.
We're at home. He's definitely going to get one.
Ride the hot hand.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my lock. That's my A. My B is kind of a lock, but I went safe on it. I went Travis Etienne versus the Browns.
I also liked that one too.
Absolutely. I think that's a safe one. So if you're going to pick a 3, I would go Breece Hall, Saquon, and Travis Etienne. That should be solid. Mm-hmm. And if you definitely want to up in the odds a little bit, throw Mr. Robinson.
Yeah, so like I said, we're going to play all 4. We'll probably also do the same thing, kind of mix and match, but we're going to definitely ride that 4 slip, see what it turns out to be, and we'll check back on it next week.
Yeah.
So just to recap, again, we are live on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio.
Share.
Yeah, like, subscribe, please. Share it, anything helps. We'll take any feedback you guys can give. We hope you listen to the whole thing. Be kind, spread love. We'll see y'all next week.
We're out.